How's it been? I'm pretty lonely down here. Just walking up the hill. It's really steep. It's been a tough walk, but you know, I know at the end of all of it, there's a decline. It's all uphill right now, but at the end, things will get easy. Things will be downhill, and everything will be perfect. So, you know, while you're here, let me tell you about this movie. Scott Pilgrim versus the World. This is one of my favorite movies ever. I love so much about this film. The video game aesthetic is great, the story is interesting, the casting is just perfect. It's such a good movie. The story of this movie follows a man from Toronto named Scott Pilgrim and a girl named Ramona Flowers, and how the two change over time. This movie is ultimately about changing as a person and learning to move on. When we first meet Scott, he's an awful person. I've been walking up this hill for a while now. Every time I stop to take a break, it feels like I'm getting further down. I'm not making any progress at all. Maybe I should take some time to improve how I'm walking up this hill. Maybe then I can get somewhere. Scott Pilgrim is dating a high schooler named Knives, who he cheats on. He's creepy, he's weird, and he doesn't have a job. He's just an overall loser. The girl who he cheated on Knives with is Ramona Flowers. She's introduced as somebody who moves to Toronto to try to escape her past, which we will learn about over time. I've been walking for a while. I haven't been taking any breaks, not being lazy, really trying to improve myself, and it looks like it's all gonna pay off. I'm getting to the top of this hill. I made it, let's go! Scott asks Ramona out on a date, and she accepts because of movie logic. Scott also hasn't broken up with Knives yet, so being the complete idiot he asks both of them to attend his band's concert, and neither of them know about each other. Anyways, that doesn't end up actually mattering because the concert is crashed by this emo dude with superpowers who claims to be Ramona's ex-boyfriend. Ex. Anyways, after Scott beats him so bad that he turns into Capital, Ramona reveals that Scott is going to have to fight her 7 evil exes. One complaint that's often leveled against movies is that the plot feels too much like a video game and that it's not engaging, but Scott Pilgrim vs. the World uses that to its advantage. The 7 evil exes are very reminiscent of 7 boss fights in a video game, and this perfectly fits with the video game aesthetic of the movie. There's tons of little references and sound effects and imagery for video games throughout the entire movie, so the plot feels very natural, even if it is very reminiscent of a video game. Anyways, from here, Scott and Ramona hit it off. Their relationship seems perfect, they have great chemistry, they love each other, and things are going great. How y'all doing? I'm doing great. Life is going phenomenally, dude. Things were bad at one point when I had to walk up the hill, and that was so awful. That sucked so much, but now I get to walk down the hill, and it all paid off. I feel like I can just do whatever and talk what I want. I'm free. I feel amazing. I hope this never ends. I hope it never ends. Then things take a turn for the worse. Scott starts to judge Ramona for her past with all these evil people. Scott is being very hypocritical here, and Ramona calls that out. See, Ramona moved to Toronto because she had already changed from her past and she just wants to move on. She just wants a clear slate. Scott, on the other hand, will be in her position by the end of the movie, but isn't yet, and is in the wrong to criticize Ramona when the relationship literally began because Scott was cheating on his girlfriend. Someone Ramona still doesn't know about, by the way. Okay, I'm gonna keep things entirely real with y'all. Things aren't looking good. This hill's starting to look flat. At this rate, I'm gonna be walking uphill again, not downhill. So Ramona breaks up with Scott before he's able to beat the last ex, Gideon. Now, one complaint I've heard against this movie is how it seems almost possessive and misogynistic. Like Scott is essentially trying to earn Ramona's love by fighting other guys for it, right?
To fight me for her. Was that not clear?
Well, at first, yes. In fact, after the breakup, Scott tries to do just that. He continues to chase Ramona even after she broke up with him. He goes to fight Gideon and ends up dying. Scott, thinking he can earn Ramona's love by fighting, gets him killed. This is the movie pushing back against this idea, believe it or not. So the argument that this movie is misogynistic is just dishonest. Like, did you watch the movie? This is like watching Star Wars and thinking that the point is that fascism is good, despite the fact that the point is that the rebels are pushing back against fascism. The movie takes these sexist ideas that women are objects that men should fight for and uses them to develop Scott as a character. Scott is messed up by the breakup and it hurts him, and his response to this is rushing into situations trying to beat Gideon because of his love for Ramona. But because of this, he dies. Gideon beats him, a perfect representation of how Scott's flaws cause his whole world to come crashing down on him. You know, for a while things were great. I was walking down the hill, I loved life, I felt free. I was having such a good time, we were getting along great, but then I wished it would never end. But my wishes don't always have to come true, and she had other ideas. I'm pissed off, but she fucking... But then something happens. Scott gets a second chance. Scott is brought back to life by Ramona because she can do that, and it's right before the situation where he dies. And he goes back to that situation and does everything right because he has a more nuanced perspective. Instead of fighting for Ramona's love, he's fighting for himself.
For her?
No. I want to fight you for me.
And in the end, after seeing how Scott changed as a person, Ramona and him got back together, and the movie ends with Ramona and him walking through a door. Finally, after both changing as people, letting their past go. You know, a little thing about this movie. I was first introduced to it by my girlfriend on our first date. She said she wasn't very good at picking movies, but then she ended up picking what ended up being one of my favorite movies of all time. You know, from there, things went great. However, it wasn't long before we broke up. It was only a few weeks, you know. It's kind of my fault that I'm still pretty sad about it. I get too attached to people. She said we never talked, but I went out of my way every single day to make sure we at least spoke once. You know, blaming her won't do anything though. That'll just make things worse.
Hey. Hey. Mind if I tag along?
You want to come with me?
Yeah. Thought maybe we could try again.
The door is symbolic of the two restarting as people, having a fresh slate, and finally being able to move on. It's a true, happy ending that feels earned because we got to see both characters help each other become better people. You know, this movie had a good ending, but my life's not a movie. We didn't just magically get back together. That's just not how it works. And honestly, at this point, I can't say I would want it. There was a point when I was pissed off, but this is just how life goes, and there's no point in getting myself stuck in it and trying to hold on and just ruining myself in the process. I just need to let go and move on. And you know, that was the point of this whole artsy metaphor with like the hill and stuff. He'll figure it out. You know, I wrote the parts of this script when I was happy, while I was actually happy, because I had planned to do this video just about going up the hill. But as I've already explained, we broke up. So I continued to write the script on how I was feeling at the time. So this video effectively works as documentation of my thoughts and feelings. And there's something so just like real about that. Like no one else could have made this. No one else has walked in my shoes. No one else truly could document how I felt at the time. I would rather make a million more videos like this than just sit here and tell you how good a movie that every person who's seen it seems to have come to this universal conclusion on how good it is. Like, that's already been done. I'd rather do something a bit different. Throughout the course of this video, I've documented my entire walk from the bottom of the hill when things were rough to improving myself and being able to walk up the hill. And then we got together and things were great. And I was walking down the hill, things were smooth, and then we broke up and now I'm right back at the bottom. And that's where we are now, so. You know, I'm gonna be walking up and down this hill plenty more times. I'd rather not get stuck along the way. So, with that said, thanks for everything and have a good night.
Follow me, follow me, follow me, follow me, follow me, follow me. Follow me, yeah, follow me.